Let me take you back to the early 2000s when I was attending art college. There I met an array of different people, some a little rough around the edges, others a bit full of themselves. I had the quiet ones naturally, and also you had the jokers. In the midst of all these colourful simpletons, I met a young lad we shall call Dan. Now Dan was a relatively quiet and polite young man. Now I say young, he was actually older than me. But anyway, after getting to know him through similar interests, aka film and music, he introduced me to an anime called Neon Genesis Evangelion. Now, I wasn't into anime at the time, I'd never even crossed my mind, so being slightly curious about people in big mech suits taking on a threat that could destroy all of humanity, I decided, yeah, go on, I'll give your box set a go. Sadly, due to my lack of knowledge with the world of Japanese anime and how it works, I just couldn't get into it, so I handed it back to him only a couple days later and avoided anime ever since. And if you're thinking this, yeah, stupid, I know. Because then years later, during a job, someone was speaking of a character called Chainsaw Man and how their partner was obsessed with him. I just became intrigued by the name alone, so I looked it up and I found this poster. And in seconds, I wanted to know more. So, how does someone become Chainsaw Man? Is that his only physical form? What is the story behind him? How would he fit into a world looking like that? Now the intrigue got the better of me so much that I went out and purchased volume 1 of the Chainsaw Man manga. Now I have to be honest here, at first I struggled to get to terms with the layout of the land and how this particular world of Chainsaw Man works. Also the fact of reading manga, you have to read the wrong way round, you have to lead back to front sort of thing. But once I understood it, and naturally it started to make much more sense. You see, this world contains all sorts of devils, from weak ones to strong ones. They're a common knowledge in society where being a devil hunter is an occupation. Unlike most anime and manga I have attempted to dive into at the moment, I'm typically a beginner. So however, the origins of Chainsaw Man have always stuck with me. And I think the reasons that are because of how sad, brutal and tragic his actual origin is. Now the next bit, guys, is going to be a few brief spoilers ahead, so you can avoid this if you want, but I do recommend that you actually listen to me, as this might sway you to watch it. So, after his heavily indebted father commits suicide, 16-year-old Denji is left to clean up the mess and repay this extortionate amount of money back to the Yakuza. After desperation pushes him to sell parts of his body, including an eye and a kidney, he stumbles across the weakened chainsaw devil Pochita. I apologise if I get that wrong. Taking pity on the creature, he helps revive her with some of his blood and they bond like a man and his dog. As time passes, Denji uses Pochita's abilities to cut down trees before taking on a devil they stumble across. Now realising there is more money in devil hunting, he puts this forward to the Yakuza, but then a job comes up later on where the zombie devil has been spotted in a nearby warehouse. As Denji enters, he finds himself suddenly betrayed by the Yakuza, who have made a deal with the zombie devil. Now Denji is then stabbed, gutted, and bitten to death before being cut up and his remains are thrown into a dumpster where it's left to rot. Now, with Pochita merely alive, he returns the favour and refuses his heart with Denji's to create the Devil Fiend, aka Chainsaw Man. After slaying the zombie devil in amazing, incredible fashion, which is well worth watching alone, and the Yakuza, he is found by Makima, a high-ranking devil hunter who takes him under her wing. Naturally, there is more to her than meets the eye. But I'll stop there. I don't want to ruin that for you guys. I think what hits me the most is, though it's a fictional story and none of these people are obviously real, but Denji has one of the most horrific origins I've ever read. The fact that he is only a young lad, he's left with debt he will never pay off, and selling his organs before being violently dismembered and attacked. Then not only that, ends up as a devil hunter and treated like a dog because the only other option is he will be slayed. Like, whilst I'm here, I do highly recommend Chainsaw Man Season 1. The animation is beautiful, it's clear, it's sharp and it's vibrant. The characters are well flushed out, offering depth other than just Denji, including other fiends such as Power and even Katana. It's comedic, the action is brilliant, yet it mixes itself nicely with more emotional overtones. It isn't scared to be what it wants to be, and that only elevates it more in my book. If you also ever get around to reading the books as well, there are some very hard-hitting moments that might even shock you that have yet to make their appearances in the show. But with the movie out now, following the Reze arc, and also Season 2 officially being announced, I can say that us Chainsaw fans, because I'm a fan now, I know not everyone is going to have the same opinions as me, I have only stepped merely a foot into the anime pool, but it would be great to learn and maybe be recommended more. But anyway, if you like this video and you want to see more, guys, subscribe today, and thanks for watching. I'm Doomscroll. Bye for now.